A final segment of the Schilling Show for today and for this year, welcoming Susan Stimpson for delegate in the 28th District here in Virginia, House of Delegates, online at susanstimpson.com. On a little bit of history and what we could expect in the new year regarding gasoline taxes and why this is so. Susan, belated Christmas greetings and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, Rob. Happy New Year to you, and I'm just really excited to be back on the show.
Well, I want you to tell us, because we're going to see a little bit of a gas tax hike, maybe more than a little bit, coming up very soon. And we were promised that the gas tax was being abolished. What happened?
Well, if you'll recall, Speaker Howell was the chief architect, along with Governor McDonnell, of Virginia's largest tax increase in our history in 2013. And part of this very irresponsibly put together bill was that it put the onus on Congress to pass a federal internet tax. And if that did not go into effect, then the gas tax would automatically go up here in Virginia. And Congressman Bob Goodlatte warned immediately about relying on imaginary revenue, and he said that, it was a complicated issue, and it was a topic of debate, and it's definitely something that the General Assembly should not include as part of their transportation package. However, they did.
Susan, it sounds like a shell game to me. How is it that we have a Republican-controlled House that let this squeak by?
Well, not only was it a Republican-controlled House, but we had control of the Senate, and we also had a Republican governor. And then you have the questions surrounding the Medicaid deal, and now you fast forward to the very next budget year, and we're told that even with record number revenues, that unfortunately Virginia now has a $2.5 billion shortfall. So we've already raised taxes on our citizens, and they're telling us that they need more money.
What's going to be happening to the price at the pump come New Year's Day, I guess?
I think on January the 1st that on average you're going to see approximately 5 cents more per gallon for gasoline that you're buying. The one bright ray of hope that the General Assembly has is the fact that gas prices have fallen right now, but that's not due to our taxes coming down. But citizens would be enjoying even lower gas prices, but unfortunately our General Assembly passed a tax increase, and now, average everyday Virginians, just like me, just like my husband, we're going to pay for it at the pump.
We certainly are, and I thought this whole idea of trying to extract more taxation out of the internet was bad in the first place. I had some Republican operative come to me behind the scenes and try to convince me that it was a good idea and that I should be promoting, and I thought, you know what, I think we're taxed enough already, and it just astounds me that this is the way that Republicans, when they're in power, wanted to do business.
I think that the people of Virginia and really the people in the nation have a very low esteem of their elected officials right now. And one of the main reasons is our elected officials, they run very strong on principles that they know that the voters agree with. Mm-hmm. And then once they get elected into office, they do the opposite of what they promise to do. But the one thing that is the most frustrating to me, especially living in this area and knowing what we have to deal with in regards to traffic, and our family is impacted by it. My husband commutes 3 hours a day. He takes the train into D.C., and so it impacts our family just like it does many of our neighbors. This tax increase was done, they told us, because they wanted to improve transportation. But just as they've done with every single tax increase, they immediately undo the lockbox and they divert the money right back into the general fund. And so our budget has doubled in the last 10 years, but the money has not gone toward transportation. And that is my biggest frustration, is watching so many of these leaders where they could manage and be a good steward of the taxpayers' resources, and they aren't. They're wasting our money.
You are running for office for the House of Delegates. You're challenging intra-party challenge to Speaker Bill Howell. Tell us how it would be different were you sitting there than it is now.
Well, one thing that people are going to be able to do is they're going to look at my record of the 4 years that I had in office and what I did with the opportunity that the people gave me. And I was also the chairman of the board in Stafford County. And our board worked together over those 4 years. We cut 9 taxes in 4 years. We cut our own pay by 25%. We took our budget, and it was actually less than the year before, which was the first time that had happened since 1965. We had real solutions. We reduced the burden on our residents, but we also funded transportation projects, education, and public safety. I do believe there is a role that government can play. And the one thing that you can do as an elected official is ensure that you're a good steward of the tax dollars. And that's what we were in Stafford. And I believe it's time for a change, and I know that I can bring that same determination to the General Assembly. But I'm going to tell you that this is the last day for fundraising, and Speaker Bill Howe is going to have unlimited funds from lobbyists and special interests. So if anyone is willing to donate to my campaign, they're welcome to go to SusanStimpson.com.
And I think this is a tremendous opportunity as people are frustrated over and over again, Susan, by exactly what you said, talking one way, then getting elected and doing something else. And we're all saying, what are you doing? They get co-opted. And I've known you now for several years, and I've seen your record, and I trust that you would do what you say you're going to do should you be elected and have the privilege to serve in that way. So I do wish you the best, and I hope you'll come back and join us in the new year as we run up to this decision.
Rob, thank you. I believe that our liberty is worth fighting for, so it's definitely worth it.
It certainly is. Susan Stimpson, thank you so much. Happy New Year to you and your family, and we'll talk to you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's going to wrap up today's edition of The Schilling Show, and for this year, wishing you and your family a wonderful New Year celebration. Be safe, please. Be grateful, please, to God who gave us another day and now coming up on another year. We'll see you soon on The Schilling Show and SchillingShow.com.